Want to get into FPV drone racing but upset you missed the latest sale on the EV100 goggles for $99? Well, stay tuned because what we're going to be doing, we're going to be checking out the F640s, and I'll also be showing you where potentially you can get these goggles for much cheaper. G'day, Stu here from UAVfutures, and today, well, we're going to be checking out these futuristic looking goggles here. These are the F640s. Now these are a pretty cheap pair of FPV goggles, and testing out different types of FPV goggles is one of the things that I'm the most passionate about because they cost a ton of money, and it's when you're flying around, when you're racing drones, it's one of the things you want to get right straight off the bat, because if you've got good goggles that work well for you, the experience is just tenfold better. Now, like I mentioned at the start of the video, a little while ago, I reviewed these bad boys. These were the Eachine EV100s. I'm running a giveaway on those, so we'll be giving those away soon, but I wanted to mention to you guys, after I did that review, like, these were an absolute steal because they used to be $99, but since then they've kind of jacked up the price, which, you know, sort of sucks for us and pilots on the end when we just want a cheap pair of good FPV goggles. That's all we're after. So when I was scouring the GearBest website looking at these bad boys, I also came across, I'm going to flash a picture on the screen, a picture of their Fury B branded goggles, and correct me if I'm wrong, but these look almost identical. So the Fury Bs might just be the same Eachine goggle inside. I don't know, I haven't got a pair yet to check out, but if you're looking to sort of get these goggles at a super cheap price, definitely check that link out down below, because it might be the same thing but back to a much better looking price. Anyway, what we should do, let's talk a little bit more about the F640s. These are a pretty different pair of goggles because they're sort of coming in like sunnies. So what we're going to be doing, we're sticking them on the bench, breaking them down, having a look at all their features, and then most importantly, we're going to be taking them out to the field, ripping them around. Sort of, I'll be telling you how I find when I'm flying with them. We'll also hand them over to other pilots like Grumpy Trev, and we'll gauge their real, true reactions when they're flying around with these as well. And I should also mention as well, I'm going to be giving a giveaway on these because I really don't need any more FPV goggles. So definitely drop some comments down below. Make sure you subscribe and all that jazz. There'll be the official rules down below. But enough rambling from me, let's stick these little futuristic goggles on the bench and get started. Alrighty, so I've got some goggles here on the bench, and before we jump in, you know, these goggles that we're going to be looking at, the F640s, they're coming in at about 120 bucks, and that's a really attractive option to people wanting to get into the hobby, because something like this, I've got a pair of Fat Sharks right here. These are the Dominator HD3s. They're about $500 US, so that is a ton of cash if you want to get in and get flying. So we're going to put that one to the side, but another option we recently reviewed, this was the Eachine EV100. Now this goggle was absolutely crazy value because it used to be 99 bucks. I'll leave a link up here if you want to go watch that video. I'll be giving this away as soon as I finish reviewing the DVR unit that comes with it. But this goggle, you know, it's amazing value. It has jumped up in price a little bit, which is a bit of a shame because I think it's about 160 at the moment, but it's going to be very interesting. Like I was mentioning before, you know, the Fury B version, it looks exactly the same. Let's put them side by side. It looks exactly the same as this stuff. It's on pre-order. I'll link it down below, but hopefully, I'm hoping that's going to cause a bit of a price war between these two, because these were a fantastic cheap option goggle, and if those Fury Bs on pre-order are just the same thing, rebranded, but at a cheaper price, that's even better. But let's jump in and have a look at this unit, because this is the one we've got on the bench at the moment. This is the F640s. Now, the first thing you probably notice straight away, it's totally different to this traditional goggle style. It doesn't have a faceplate or anything like that. You know, it's very different. Even between the expensive pair, the value pair, and this one, it's very different. So I'm going to suspect the weight is something that's going to be totally different as well. Let's put it on the scales, find out how much it weighs. If I take my Fat Sharks, let's weigh those first, because you've got to wear these all day, so you want to make sure that they're comfortable. They're coming in, the Fat Sharks are 194 grams. Let's put our Eachine goggles, they're 150. These bad boys are right here, they're coming in at 96 grams. So look, a very light little goggle option. Now don't be misled though, because look, you do get this optional extra, and I would say anybody who's going to be doing FPV with these, who's going to be wearing this, this is like an eye patch to stop some light leakage. it's coming in at 124 grams. So look, it's still the lightest goggle that I've ever seen, but I definitely don't think that under 100 gram mark that they're sort of claiming is not really possible, because everybody, if anybody who's into the sport and you were deciding to use these, you would definitely be using it with the iCup. Anyway, let's have a look at what we actually get when you pick them up. So let's get some of the boring stuff out of the way straight away. You've got two different types of AV cables, so with some different plugs on the end, which is great, very, very useful if you're going to be sort of doing some DVR or anything like that. You also get a little charging part, and I actually kind of like it how this one has an inbuilt battery that you can charge by USB. I think being able to charge something by USB is fantastic, but the battery size in here is quite questionable, and we'll talk about that as well, so we'll throw that to the side. You get a little dipolar antenna, which to be honest, I'm probably not going to be using in the field, because every single person I know, if you want better reception, they always upgrade their antenna, so just we'll put that to the side. It's better than nothing, but only just, so that's going to the side. And then we've got these two units, right? Well, I guess we've got this unit right here. The one part, I don't know what you call this, and I think it goes on the back. Look, it came detached. It's like a sticky sort of piece of rubber, and I'm going to guess that it goes at the end right there, which is kind of a must, because all of our other goggles, they've got these bands around the back to hold them on your face, so you're not going to be, they're not going to be falling off while you're flying. So I think most people are going to need to put this little thing on. Now what we're going to do, let's go through some of the features right here. Straight off the bat, one thing I don't really like is these earphones. Look, I know some people fly with audio, I personally don't, but they're just going to bug me. I can tell they're going to be dangling all over my face. They might be good for keeping the flies away, but I'm going to find that quite annoying. So it'd be nice if you could just attach those, or even better, just have a little option so you could have like your audio out, and that's where you plug your headphones in. That's what it's like on all these sorts of goggles. You've got a little audio out option. I think that's better rather than giving us these headphones, because look, I'm not really a fan of that one. Now some of the other features, if we flip it over, you can see it's pretty simple. It's got an inbuilt battery, which I know I mentioned it before, but this is kind of weird because on the GearBest website it says 960 milliamps, I think, and for about 3 hours, and in the instructions right here it says that our battery duration is about 2 hours, and it's got a 750 milliamp battery. So one of those is incorrect. I'm going to guess we're going to get about 1 hour's flight time from using these. You can't change the battery. I love how you can charge it by USB, but you can't actually change the battery, and that's a pain, because when I go out flying, I'm flying for way more than 2 hours, and if this thing is going flat and I've got to wait ages for it to charge up, it's going to be very, very frustrating. So we've got our little DC port here. That's where you plug it in with your little USB charger that we have right there. Then what do we got? Let's go through some of our buttons. So we've got our on and off button. We've got our volume over this side, so plus and reducing our volume there. And then over this side we've got our little, this is where you're going to connect your AV, so this is where some of these cables would go. And then right here we've got some of our change your frequency, change your channel, and a little bit of information. Now the big one that it's missing, if you look at here, oh, and on the top we've got a little RP SMA adapter right there too, so that's where we connect our little antenna. So, but we're going to be swapping this out for like a TBF Triumph or something like that. But there's no actual image adjustment, so when you're trying to adjust this to get it to suit your eyes, for me, it's out of focus, because in all my goggles I have most of them pressed out to the very outside. I must have a big fat buff head, but if these aren't perfect for you straight away out of the box, it's going to be a little bit irritating trying to fly with them. Now the screens themselves, they're 648 by 480, so look, nothing too amazing right there. It did look quite bright when I had it on in the studio, but time will tell when we take it out and fly it around. One thing I don't really like, I think this face cup is an absolute must, but there's no real way to secure it in, I guess, without it falling off. So you can't screw it in or anything like that. As much as it looks like you can, I would love it if it came like that. It does block out heaps of light when you put this on, but it's gonna fall off. And a problem too, it doesn't have a fan, it doesn't have any DVR, it doesn't have a HDMI input or anything like that, and this sort of part I think is going to get very, very sweaty on a hot day. Now in terms of improvement, number one, I want some eye adjustments, so that's an absolute must. Make sure, because unless your eyes are perfect, this thing is almost going to be useless. Number two, make sure I'd find some better ways to attach this, even some velcro or something. I don't even know how they're going to do it, but I don't want this thing flapping around. It does feel okay when it's on your face, but every time you take your goggles off, you don't have to be fiddling around trying to get it, sort of working properly. And then the other one, let's put some DVR in there. So if it had some DVR, you could adjust the images, and this faceplate stayed on properly. properly, it would be a much better deal. And the crazy thing is that that's kind of what these are like. So everything I'm recommending here, that's exactly what's in here, minus the DVR. This thing does have an extra, but this thing does have an extra DVR module that you can get sent over. Now the interesting thing is, how's it going to go when we take it out to the field? I'm going to fly it around to give you my impressions, and also what is Grumpy Trev going to think, because he was a massive fan of these for the price, and these things are coming in around that same sort of cheap value mark for anyone wanting to get into the hobby. But there's already a few things I can see. It's a totally different style of goggle, and there's quite a few things on here that I think are very, very lacking, and frankly, some of them are even annoying. So enough rambling here in the bench. So let's cut out to the field, find out, are these things going to be a good, cheap FPV option, or are they just sort of something that's been hacked together, not really thought out too well, and is it going to be a total disaster? Grumpy Trev is going to probably lose it. Anyway, let's cut out to the field in 3, 2, 1. You have to press, right? You know what I mean? Alrighty, out here in the field, about to test out the F640s, and I'm not really too sure how we're going to go. I'm not going to be able to show you any DVR, but I will go through my experiences with them. What we're going to do, I'm going to fly around with them, and then we're going to hand them over to Grumpy Trev, who's behind the camera right now, and we'll see just what he thinks.
Can you put him back on, then you look better.
Let's do it. Alright, so just before I take off, there's actually no light leakage at all when I've got these on my face. This cup, oh actually if I push it, I can get a little bit, but when it's just sitting normally, there's no light leakage whatsoever.
What about through your ears?
Get out, you're gonna stop making too many jokes. But you know, they're quite comfortable actually, they're very light on my face. These things are annoying me, but the big one, when I plug it in and turn it on, am I gonna be able to focus and actually see where I'm flying? So let's do that now. Let's plug in a quad and rip it around. Let's do the Talon.
Okay, recording.
Alright, Trevor's figured out how to use the camera. Alright, so let's find out how we can actually tune this to my channel, because at the moment, oh, the picture even does look a little bit blurry there, not like it's lined up, but it's not on my channel. Where we go? Frequency channel. Oh, this part's kind of annoying now on the back. I guess it'll be alright once you actually had the correct channel. Frequency, F3, F4, 1, 2, 3, there we go. Boom. Whoa. It's on my channel, but for my eyes, that is not lined up. Wow, this is going to be, I'm seeing double. It's like 3D, but not 3D. If I close one eye, it's a really good picture if I close one eye. Man, that's tough. How can I get that to be the right way? I don't know if I actually can.
You want to poke in the eye?
No, but like one picture's up here, one's down there. I'm going to try and fly with it. We'll see how we go anyway. The picture looks great. The screen is very bright, totally flyable in terms of the size of the image, but I'm seeing double. I'm going to start off just with one eye. Even with this dodgy antenna, it's, you know what I mean? It's not too bad. That's a lot further than I thought we were going to get with that antenna. Let's go behind some of these trees out here. I am flying with just my right eye. Man, I'm impressed. No light leakage whatsoever. They are comfortable on my face. I'm going to see what happens when I try to look with two. Oh, no, that's freaking me out too much. Oh, why don't they have eye adjustments? These would be great for the price. I mean, look, they're not comparing to Fat Sharks or Onways or anything like that, but for the price, they don't have to. They're about 120 bucks. I'm going to say the reception's actually better than the EV100s, which is ridiculous because we've got a dodgy antenna on here. They do fit quite well. The screen's very bright, totally flyable. I can see all my OSD and stuff, but I am flying the whole time with one eye. So as soon as I open up the other eye, look, it might be different for you, Trevor, but for me, it's impossible to fly when I've got both my eyes open. It's like I'm seeing double, like I'm drunk.
You've got to open your eyes to fly.
Yeah, well, you got to open. I've got to close one of them actually to fly with these goggles. That's such a shame because these would actually be all right. It is a pity you don't have DVR or anything like that, but I think for the price you can't complain too much. If these had image adjustment, it would be a much tougher choice between the EV100s. But in its current state, because I've got to fly around with one of my eyes closed just in order to fly, I'm not really a fan. But that range is surprisingly good. I mean, I'm going out, I don't know how far you guys can see this, I'm going out here behind all these trees and it's still flyable. You can probably see me coming back towards us now, but the reception's surprisingly good. Anyway, what we should do, I'm going to come in for a landing, we'll hand it over to Grumpy Trev and just see just how cross-eyed we can make him, or maybe they're going to work with his old kooky pirate eyes. Alright, let's do it. Actually, it's really bright out here. Like, there's no light leakage. It kind of seals better than all the other goggles. No fan though, probably would get a little bit sweaty if it was a really hot day. Let's do it, GT. You can have a go. You got your cap in the antenna there, Grandpa. Oh, he's hip with the school kids. All right, what do you reckon, Trevor?
Come with me if you wish to live.
Okay.
I feel like RoboCop, more so than any.
I think it's if you want to live, but we'll let those movie those movie quotes slide. What do you think of the F640s?
Well, they're different.
Yeah, that not foam, that rubber thing, slips out.
Quite gee, they're very light. First looks at these things, I think we both thought the same thing. I thought they're going to be, but so far I'm impressed.
What part impressed you? Because you just saw me fly with them.
Well, that they worked. That was the part that impressed me.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to have to close one eye though. It looks like I can see through these.
Oh,
They look all right, so we'll just see what they're like and I'll whack them on.
It's like you're going to go swimming. Before you take off, how do they feel on your face?
You still got yours on.
Oh, I got to better unplug my quad. Hang on. Rookie error. Trev's over there.
And I just have to find mine there.
Oh yeah, you got to put your frequency and stuff on. Yep, that's the frequency.
The channel.
And that's channel. Is that pretty easy?
That was it. That was easy.
Okay.
I can't believe how easy that changed. That's a plus. I really like that. Easy to use for an old fart. All right, let's see if it can fly it. It's in focus, but oh look.
Try closing one eye. See if that makes it any easier.
I can't see shit when I do that.
Draw close. I didn't say close. Don't close them both.
Reception's quite good. I thought it'd be crap as well. The antenna on this thing's pretty shit. You can fly with them, but oh shit. You can't focus them properly. The size of the screen's good. I couldn't recommend these to anyone. You need PID adjustments on them. These things are comfortable, but there's just not enough adjustment. Like you can't fit them on your head properly. Look, compared to most goggles, the reception on this is pretty good. There's better goggles out there for this sort of money. As good as what these are, if you've got no focus adjustment, it's pretty pointless.
Give it a grumpy Trev out of 10 for value, because it's about 120 bucks.
Well, I can't really see any value in them because they're only going to suit a few people and they're not going to know they're any good until they fly with them.
And what about a performance out of 10, I guess?
Actually, are pretty good, but if you can't focus on them, as usability goes too, they're pretty crap. Yeah, they've got a bonus, you get free earrings with them. Can't see any use in them at all. If someone's going to buy these, get them home, put them on and go, oh shit, I can't see through them. Waste your money. So, yeah.
All right, thanks Trev.
And they're going to get really sweaty too, I reckon, as well.
Look at that, all that sweat on the inside. You've actually gotten a bit sweaty right there, even though it's cold.
Yeah.
Some lucky viewer's going to get some grumpy Trev sweat.
Yeah, I'll sign it for you as well.
No, they'll go down in value.
On the crapper meter, these are pretty low, or high. I get my high crapper meter already. Definitely give them a miss. Alrighty, so there it is. There's my review of the F640s, and honestly, they do a lot of things right. I like the reception. I like, surprisingly, they were pretty comfy on my face, and I had some great, it was really dark in there. There wasn't very much light leakage, but besides all those features that they might have executed really, really well, and I especially love the price. I mean, 120 bucks. They got one thing wrong, and that was for me, for my eyes, they just don't line up. Like it wasn't even just that they weren't the correct width apart, they were also felt like they were on different levels, so it made me feel like I was cross-eyed, which was a massive shame because I actually flew so much better when I just closed one eye, went like a pirate, and it was much better. But people shouldn't have to do that with FPV goggles. So just no matter how good these are, no matter all the features and what they're doing right, if they can't get that adjustment correct and it doesn't fit your face, I definitely can't recommend this one to many people. Now, I think you'd be much better off getting something like this. So like I mentioned at the start, the Eachine EV100s, because even though these ones are about 160, these are a much more solid investment, and these have some of the best eye adjustments, that you can, the best eye adjustments out of any goggle that I've ever reviewed. Definitely, if you want to watch that video, I'll leave the link up here. Go and watch that. And I would say for anybody as well, that FuryBee goggle that I'll link down below, if you want to get in and get on a pre-order, because hopefully that's going to make it a bit cheaper and it looks like an absolute clone. But regardless of which one you choose, both the Eachine, the EV100s, and also the FuryBee are going to be much better options for cheap FPV goggles, because they're all around that sort of cheapish price. And these ones, no matter how good they are,
because you can't focus them and they can't make a match up to your eyes, they're going to be very good for a very small select people. For everybody else, they're going to be a bit of a waste of money. Now, just a reminder, I am running a giveaway on these F640s, so make sure you go and read that description. It'll all be written down below, so go and check that out. But other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Subscribe for more FPV related content, and as always, happy flying. Ta-da! Alrighty, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel and check out these videos. And I'm also going to leave a little link here to my Patreon page because I've got some fantastic Patreon supporters and I like to give back to them as well. So if you want to join the UAVfutures family, there's things like bonus Velcro straps, little bundles of FPV goodies and things like that that also get sent out. Anyway, happy flying.